Yeah, I know BJ spends a lot of time in the group. The organization spends a lot of time about first. There was a lot of great firsts tonight. Coming back from a two-goal deficit to come back and show great team spirit. Halftime, everyone's calm, focus on the tactics and what was at hand and how do we improve the second half. And obviously another big first to get to the semifinal, just to continue to push the club forward. And that's what we want to do, find more firsts and obviously give more references from things that we've already done to continue to rely on those things as well.
Thank you. Well, we are going to open the floor for questions.
You said halftime, everybody was calm. Were there any tweaks tactically, technically, or did you just keep everything the same?
No, there's definitely some tweaks we need to make. I would say DC did a decent job of just occupying the spaces that we wanted in the midfield. It's pretty blocked. Their 5 and their 2 did a good job of protecting the space for us, which we like to really get into. So for us, it was about really adding more players to the high line so we could force them back and get them to run backwards, and then we start to pick up the ball in the middle of the field. So you saw guys like Johnny and Hani coming into the pocket, able to receive. That's from Sam and other guys, Alex, making the hard runs behind that forced the other team backwards.
And on Johnny Perez specifically, tonight he had a really, really good match. Do you think there was a little bit of a response to the disappointing in picking up a red card earlier this week?
Yeah, I mean, as a team, we kind of talk about first as well, playing a man down, and then obviously coming back from a goal down to get the win. I think one thing that was mentioned was Johnny felt hard done by, but the response from the team and how they supported him. And then we talk about, like, Johnny, we supported you. At some point, we're going to need you to support and give back to the team as usual. And what a quick response and payback.
Did it feel like maybe the floodgates seemed to kind of open after Sam's goal put you ahead late in the 70th minute?
Yeah, I can imagine from DC's perspective the emotional toll in the game to be ahead early. Obviously, they start to sit back quite a bit, and I think we believe in ourselves a lot physically. Like, we not only the guys that are starting 11 can continue to add pressure and grow as the game go on against most teams because we're pretty intense. We always feel like the guys that come in the game can also add. So I think once we got ahead, we felt like we could stay ahead and continue to add more.
I wanted to ask just a specific question. It looked like on goal kicks, especially with Benteke, that you had Jack on him, but then you had Eddie kind of pitching in, and sometimes even a third guy coming in. Just can you talk a little bit about the approach to him specifically?
Yeah, I mean, it's clear he's always a target for aerial duels. For us, we put Eddie to kind of stop him from getting momentum. I think what he likes to do is come from the wide area, and typically you have fullbacks or smaller players there, and he's able to jump over. But Eddie kind of got underneath him and just kind of stopped his momentum, and then Jack would typically come and clean up the rest. So it frustrated him for sure. You could see that, but I thought the guys did a great job executing that.
Mike, tell us about the moment when you guys outside the pitch see the team 2 goals down that early. Obviously, there's no tactic or plan on your side that will say, well, we're going to be losing the game this early by 2 goals. What was the thought process there at the time?
Yeah, so for me as an assistant, and the other assistant coach and the analysts that are upstairs, it's about not being emotional about it. It's like, what's going wrong and how do we solve it? So I know a lot from a coaching perspective. When you're on the sideline, you can kind of feel the emotion, but it's about what's happening in the game and how do we improve from what we're doing, and we just try to take the emotions out of the game, which is sometimes difficult, but just to be calm and to get a better read of what's happening and try to get the guys to execute in the second half. That's how we try to keep it.
Mike, you mentioned, after the second half there were some tactical changes. I guess when Benteke came off for substitution, what, changed for you guys when it came to tactics?
I think tactically, maybe not so much. Baji and Benteke probably add the same amount of pressure. They're mostly players that don't defend very high. Obviously, Benteke puts a lot of stress on the opponent when the ball goes into the wide areas. It's stressful. So I think our center backs got even more confident, and we were able to probably calm the game down even a little bit more. Every ball that goes out for a throw-in, every set piece, you have to be constantly aware. And I think it probably gave us a little bit of a boost knowing that we can focus in other areas rather than taking that 20-30% that's focused on him and we could apply it to other places.
And you mentioned about Johnny Perez earlier. Just also with Gaston Brugman, it seems like those guys, they've kind of built their confidence throughout the U.S. Open Cup. Just speak on their performances and how vital they've been just for the heartbeat of this team in this tournament.
I'd say the first thing to say is, like, from working with these guys day in and day out, we have a lot of confidence in all of the players. I know sometimes it can be difficult to get in when a team is on a good streak, but the attitude for those guys, training hard, doing the extra work, assistant coaches like me spending extra time with them, improving on the areas that we want them to improve on, to get more minutes, and them executing, it pays off, and it showed well today.
Yeah. Oh, everybody is talking about the first minutes of the game, right? Also, we know the majority of the time Nashville Soccer Club have, the ball and then have everything look like perfect. Do you discover what happened, why they are not focused on the first moment and they unfortunately have 2 goals before Johnny can make the first one?
Yeah, I would say just from my initial impression, I think just like we study teams study us. I felt like they kind of cheated with Peglo out wide in the area, and we know we have a really good attacking fullback in Andy, and they took a gamble and kept a player behind, and in transition they used the space very quickly for 2 goals. So for me, it was we have to find ways to counter that. We want Andy and Johnny and those guys on our right side to be attacking players, but also we have to maintain some balance. Gaston also on the right side is an attacking player. So we were really attack heavy on that side, and they gambled by cheating players high, and it paid off for them early.
Because in my opinion, it's totally different. The persons who go to the game on the first minute to the end. I mean, I don't know what you're talking to them, but it was amazing because it's totally different strategy and everything. I mean, congratulations.
Thank you. I would say hats off to the players. I think for us, like I said, it's tactical, and the players, they execute with emotion, which is not easy. So they could felt some emotion. They want to win the game. They want to get the club to a semifinal, but they still sit down, they listen, they execute. So for us, the job is maybe easier for them to execute and to also have some emotion and passion about it. It's hats off. Credit to the players.
Welcome back, everybody. We are now joined by defender and captain Walker Zimmerman. Walker, welcome back.
Thank you.
To return to the crowd.
Yeah, it was great. Excited to be a part of this whole winning streak. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Team has been doing such a great job, and that was the message before the game, is just getting to watch from afar sometimes puts things in perspective a little bit. And I think the difference with where we are now with this team is just you can feel the camaraderie, you feel the belief, you feel the selflessness that's shining through. And so I think tonight was, again, a perfect example of that. You go down 2 goals, you just put your head down and keep going. Keep trusting the process. You don't panic. You don't worry about it. And you just trust, and your teammates around you. And the guys really showed out and got a great result that puts us closer to a final.
Walker, while away on international duty, did you keep any close contact with everybody, anybody at the club? And what sort of messages were you sending?
Yeah, I mean, our team chat is always active, whether I'm in town or not. So our NSC players only chat was always lively. So it's a great way to keep up. It's a great way to encourage the guys before the game, congratulate them afterwards, pick up on a little banter that's going on midweek, when they're not playing. And so it allows us to stay in touch, feel a part of the group still. So yeah, it was great to be a part of that, and kept in touch with BJ after games, just congratulating him, and he was a good constant checker inner for me at my camp, asking how I was doing, and we kept in touch. So it was good to have that communication open.
And then it seems like BJ Callahan has his system pretty set now. It seems like you guys on the pitch know exactly what's expected of you. Can you talk for you personally what big differences you've kind of had to adjust, and how does it bring out the best of your game playing in this system?
Yeah, he's a coach that he does bring a lot of clarity, and the way that he teaches, like he would be a great high school teacher, honestly. I mean, he will captivate the attention of the classroom. It's not often that you'll have like a long video with the coaching staff and feel the way that you do coming out of it. Like you can walk out of a video with BJ and be like, at least that was worthwhile. Like we learned, rather than like, oh, we're just watching clips, or, well, what are we really supposed to do after all that? And so you feel like you're learning constantly. And it was helpful for me because I had a crash course for 5 years of more or less how we play under Greg's system with the national team. And BJ took a lot of principles and has adapted and evolved that. But the core and basis of it, we learned a lot with the national team. So for him to come in, I was extremely excited because I knew he would bring a clarity that we desperately needed from an individual standpoint, from a team standpoint. And now you said it, like, it doesn't matter who's playing, what position, they sub on, they know exactly what they're supposed to do. And that allows us to operate as smoothly as we are in this stretch.
Walker, did you expect DC to maybe come out as compact and tight on defense coming in this game as they did? And maybe from your perspective on the bench for most of the game, how did you see you guys evolve into attacking that and trying to get opportunities through it?
Totally expected it. It's exactly what we expected. You look at the game that we played here, a month or two ago, and they did the same thing. They sat back. They stayed compact. They made it ugly. They tried to get something out of transition. Almost caught us extremely late in stoppage time, but we ended up tying 0-0. So, of course, if you have success like that on the road, you're going to come back. You're going to do it again. So we expected that. It only increased once they scored their first goal. Then you could see them get even tighter, deeper, and not as willing to press us. And then obviously got the second. And so it was an incredible response, reminiscent of New England, where we just bounced back right away. And that was an amazing moment for Johnny to get us right back into it and not even allow that doubt for a second to creep in of like, oh, no, we're down 2-0. It was like, no, it's 2-1. And we keep moving. So that was a really, really important goal to get at that moment in time.
Yeah, Walker, I've asked a couple of the guys this, but I'd love your perspective. You guys keep winning games, but in different ways, and I'm just curious how much of a confidence boost is that to know that you have a bunch of different kind of tools in your pocket.
Yeah, that's what great teams do. That's what teams that are contending for trophies and championships do. You have to evolve. You have to win in different ways. You have to have a little bit of luck here and there. And right now, we are clicking on all cylinders. We're able to score goals off set pieces, score goals off crosses, score goals in transition. And we have two forwards that are hot right now. And when they are shooting and the ball's going in, it makes it a lot easier to win games. And they're playing great. They're really combining well together. And then you look at just the work rate of everyone else around them that make them go. Midfield's been amazing. Defense has been spectacular. It's got to be by far the most goal contributions we've had from defenders throughout our time in Nashville. Outside backs, center backs, everyone's getting on the score sheet or the assist sheet. And so when you have a lot of contributors, a lot of different goal scorers, a lot of different providers, everyone can walk away happy because they know that they're contributing to something bigger than themselves. And again, that ties back to the whole selflessness and team aspect that I think is sticking out for me more than it has in other years.
And then you've been in Nashville obviously since day one. I know there's a lot of time left before the semifinal game and a lot of games left to be played. But just kind of from an individual perspective, but also a team perspective, how cool would it be to potentially be able to kind of win the first trophy in Nashville SC history? It'd
be awesome. It's something that we talked about from the very beginning of preseason. We emphasized wanting to be not only first soccer team, but first professional sports team to win a trophy in Tennessee and not just Nashville. So, yeah, we've talked about it since the beginning of the year, and when you have your visions, your dreams of what this season looks like, success is defined by that. We are aware of it. We are chasing it, but at the same time, what's been preached to us is this process, and so we're not going to look ahead to September. We're not going to look ahead to who are we going to play yet. We're just going to keep rolling, keep our level head, and that comes from the staff keeping us level-headed, comes from the players keeping other guys accountable, making sure that they're attacking training in the exact same way that they have been, this whole season because it's been a formula for success. So not being content, not being too high with the highs, low with the lows, that's what we're preaching all year. So great win for us tonight, and obviously a great stretch of games here. But even whenever a loss will come, because it will come at some point, we're going to get right back to it and keep chugging along. Because if you do that more times than not, you're going to be on the right side of the game.
Walker, there's obviously a huge contrast between last season and this one in pretty much every phase of the game. But still, you haven't got there in terms of winning a title, which is what you're looking for. Now, what makes it different in your case in the team in terms of how closer you might be this time because of what's going on around the team and the coach and everything else to that goal of perhaps winning the cup or maybe making it very far into the MLS playoffs game?
Yeah, I think we have a more complete team. I think we have the right combination of personnel involved and a lot of different pieces that we've utilized throughout the season. A lot of depth that's come in. We've even tweaked lineups, and we've still been successful. And it helps guys feel really bought in when you see that guys are getting opportunities. It's not the same lineup every single week. Guys are getting rewarded for good performances, and that keeps it competitive in training. And so when you have that competition, you always are going to keep improving. And then ultimately, I think the whole level-headed approach has been very good for this team because when you look in the past and you look at even the Leagues Cup run, that felt like it was just a hot moment, like a hot streak, you know? It was like, oh, wow, this is going great. But then afterwards it died off really quickly. And this feels like a project that is very sustainable because of all those factors that I've spoken about before. So that's where I get excited as a part of this team is just that consistency and belief and selflessness for each other. So that gives me a lot more confidence that we're going to put ourselves in positions where we're more regularly competing for championships because of this formula and because of the guys that we have in the locker room. So for that, I'm excited.
Walker, and from an international standpoint and to a club standpoint, you've always been looked at as a leader to any team that you're on. And just having the additions of Jason Palacios this season, does it take a little bit off your shoulders to know that you have somebody behind you that you can finally just kind of have a good balance of being a leader in the locker room but also being a leader on the field as well?
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. What a contributor for this run of games and for him and Jack and their growing partnership. It's been awesome and so excited to see the success that they've been having and especially with Jason as an individual because I've seen in the past it can be very difficult sometimes for some players who come over from another league, another country to adapt, to get acclimated to life on the field and off the field. And I think that's where you also got to shout out the guys that have kind of welcomed in Jason even more, the Andy Nahars, Brian Acostas, Gaston, you know, really making sure he's feeling more and more comfortable. And I think with him, it's almost like his play has gotten better as he's gotten more comfortable as a part of this team. And that's really good to see and learn more about his personality as he's gotten more comfortable. So really happy to have him here. He's been a great addition to the locker room and to the team and happy that he's really stepping up when we needed him most.
And on a lighthearted note, I guess, buzz cut, score a goal right after International Gold Cup.
Yep.
You going to keep it at a buzz cut for the most part? Or are you going to try to go around?
I mean, hey, it's hot here in Nashville, man. I gotta keep it short. No, I have no plans for it. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it feels good to have it short when it's really hot outside.
How did you feel when you played the whole match today, and how it is to change your chip after the playing the weekend with your national team, and in the part of the week and couple of days playing the quarterfinals with your team?
Yeah, it's always a transition when you go from one team to the other, especially after a long time away. It wasn't just a short little window, about 6 weeks away. So, yeah, there's excitement to get back to this group. I mean, these are the guys that I spend every day with. There's an excitement when I go on international duty because I'm seeing friends that I haven't seen in months. And so there's different dynamics there. It's so fun to represent your country. It's the greatest honor. I doesn't care. I always tell people it doesn't matter if I'm playing 1 second or 120 minutes for the national team. I'm going to do that 1 second as hard as I can and with so much pride. I feel the same way about Nashville. It was great to come back get on the field for 5 to 10 minutes, contribute with a goal. It just felt good to kind of get back into this rhythm. And honestly, it's been a while for me. I mean, since the concussion in early April, haven't had many minutes because I didn't play much at Gold Cup. And so, yeah, I know it's going to take time to get into a rhythm, get in some good form, but I'm excited to attack that challenge of, getting back into that playing every week and helping this team keep this winning streak going.
Thank you, everybody. That will conclude today's meeting.
Did you want a question? We got everyone else here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Perdón.
Well, I have two questions. One is a little bit maybe harder to answer, but I tried to do it because I know we have a young people who is playing in our schools. Sometimes they are scared when they have a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
And then today you're making a goal after that concussion, right?
Yeah.
How you feel? Because, I mean, sometimes I think after a concussion it's okay to be scared to touch again the ball with the head.
Totally. I mean, it was a really long process and one that you have to take extremely seriously. I'm really grateful for the trainers and doctors and specialists that I saw because they make you go through so many hurdles and obstacles. And even along the way, it's like I thought I was going to be back the next day on one of these days. And we progressed through a protocol and I started having symptoms again. And I was so disappointed because mentally and emotionally you get to that point like, oh, I think I'm back. You do one little header or something that triggers your symptoms and then you're like, not again. Like when is it going to get better? So it's definitely something where you have to give yourself a lot of grace and just know that time will tell you when you're ready to get back and you'll know and you'll feel confident. And even as I'm coming back, like every header is a boost of confidence. Every time you get in a collision, it's a boost of confidence because you're like, okay, I know I can do this. I know that my brain is healed and healthy. And so I think with reps and with the right slow progression back into playing, that's really helped with the confidence. So, yeah, I'm excited. I know my wife even texted me and, she was tearing up watching the game just because she knows of all people kind of that process and what it looks like. And when it's one thing to get back playing, but like a moment like when you score a goal or like really get back on the field and have that moment of celebration, it just kind of hits a little bit different because of all that you've gone through. So really grateful to be back playing, contributing. And yeah, for anyone who's dealing with concussion, it's a unique injury. It's different for every single person. You can't be like, oh, well, his took this long and his took this long. And I hit my head that way. So I think it's just everything is different and you got to figure it out.
And now the other one is about the team, right? You are one of the first players we have it from starting to now. Last year we have to change the coach and everything coming like a transition. But right now we have the same coach to the end of last year. What happened? What changed? The tactics, the teacher, the coach, or the new players. What happened to now we have again back the team? We are excited and everybody, the fans want to buy all the season seats over here.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of the things that you said. I think, we did add some pieces. We added some players. When you're learning a different system or you're under a new coach, it's going to take a little bit of time because, one, you're learning the system. Two, you're learning him. You're learning how to gain confidence playing free for that coach because it's natural to be a player and you have a coach come in and you're trying to think of, well, what can I do to impress him? And does he like when I do this or that? And you're kind of heightened and you can't play free. You can't trust yourself. And BJ is the kind of coach that, again, I talked about the clarity piece, but he'll make it clear like what he expects of you, but then he also can give you the freedom to like work within those restraints, if you want to call them that. And so, yeah, it takes time. And I think our off-season training, not making the playoffs, was one of the best things that happened for us last year because we got the time to not worry about preparing for a game for a week or 2 weeks, but we had a full month to just almost be locked into Nashville and figure out exactly, dive into the depths and the details of the system, of our identity as a team. And that time was invaluable because you don't really get it a lot of times. Preseason happens fast. You start playing games. And so for us to not be in a playoff position last year and have the extra training, was a huge learning experience for guys to then come into preseason this year with a way better understanding of where we're going, what our goals are, how we're going to play. And so I think, yeah, for all those reasons, that's kind of why I think we've had more success this year.
Thank you, Walker.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you.